take on that lion-like nature where nobody messes with us and nobody takes this truth for a joke.
I'm with it. Nations want war, let's get it. No, I ain't doing no tripping, still standing on business. As it was written in the scriptures, who ruled the world from beginning? Tell you how it's ending. Jake, wake up, stop sinning. Call all things to remembrance. Shares keep visiting. We'll break off on a citizen till all the heathen is finished. Go on, let us pray. Shot clock, no penalties. Wait for the day of our enemies. Who are not let who pretend to be secretly funding captivity. Not metaphorically, literally, spiritually. Ain't a soliloquy, but prophesy, keep it biblical. Biblically, still hear the saints in their grave. Generally, taught on these days of villainy. Screaming, I keep that same energy. Lying in the sky, Mufasa. Bible giving cuts, no barbers. Kid an old man, we martyrs. No days off, just starting. Built up just like the Spartans. Tell them how we coming.
See, the Lord, I'm coming to fight for you, and I'm coming like a lion. I ain't coming like a lamb when I come. I'm coming like a fierce lion.
Built to last like it's Duralast, and I'm out the war with a pack of wolves. Caught a rhino, so it's C hermano standing back to back, so you know we good. Prophesying while we multiplying, got these heathens in these nations fully shook. Got them really trying to figure out how the hell we let them do it with a book. Now I'm about to go beast mode. Teach your people on the intro. Live the Bible, that's the true survivor. Gotta write it down, that's the cheat code. Now I'm about to turn the lion on. Cleanse the earth of the vagabond. The fir tree and the cedar tree gon' stand with me, hella mighty strong. Prophesy till the kingdom come. Flip the scripts like a catalog. Drop the bars out on Babylon. Ride the vine till the heathen gone.
When it talks about the lion roaring, it's really talking about the prophets prophesying. We must prophesy like lions.
Let's go, third row. How they gonna be when that thing blow? If you wanna leave, then say so. We brought these laws till case closed. Welcome to the Lions Den, let us pray. They done let the lions in. 12 gates, only where the righteous live. They turn from sin and get raised again. Mo 5, see how we burn up the streets. Prophets gonna turn up the heat, wake up the sheep. Nations gonna fade as a leaf when the Lord invade like a thief. See, we rolling with lions, we killing all of the vipers. Shooting fiery darts, we dodging all of the snipers. Let's go, we gonna bring fire to the streets. Dead bodies flying on the street, brothers getting high on the street. Watch a young lion just crying on the beat, roaring up the belly of the beast. To my people back in the east, high till we wake out of sleep. Heart of a king, heart of a priest. Fight this war till my people get peace, peace.
My day. Let me just face these. Thanking you for waking me. PGU. Pray you forgive my iniquities. Wash away my sins and make me clean. Pray that your spirit won't depart from me. Oh, please. And I won't forget to pray for my nation to be saved from our enemies. Avenge us quickly. PGU, press going up to you. PGU, press going up to you. PGU, press going up to you. PGU, I pray you hear me call.
Lord, I heard you call me, now I'm calling. I hope I'm worthy of your calling, cause I feel myself falling. 3 times a day I'm praying like I'm David. Cause my adversary's lurking and his name is known as Satan. Can't let this sin take me by occasion. My head harder than
all right.
I'm caught up in the matrix. And what I would
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Congregation of Israel. Congregation of Israel. Congregation of Israel. Let's get on with it. Congregation of Israel, let us stand and face Jerusalem.
Israel, blow trumpets. Trumpets down. God of our fathers, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, We thank you, Heavenly Father, for allowing us to see this Sabbath day, Father. We ask, Father God, that your blessing may fall upon us. Purge from us all manners of sin, unrighteousness. May it be purged from this vessel, Father. Use us as tools of righteousness, eternal King. We are thankful for everything that you have continued to do for us, Father. Thank you for the drink, the food, all the nourishments, Father, that you bring to us. We are grateful, Lord. We ask, Father God, that you continue to bless the nation of Israel. Gather the elect through the four corners, Heavenly Father. And those that speak evil against us, may they fall back and be broken, eternal King. Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless the bishop, the deacons, the captains, all the mighty men that call upon thy name, Father, and continue to do thy work. Bless the righteous sisters amongst us, Father. Put a righteous spirit, a renewed spirit in us, Father, for we are nothing without thy commandments. And so, King, we ask again to bring forth the kingdom, Lord. Bring forth the kingdom to deliver your people, Lord. And those that hate us, Lord, may they be devoured by thy righteous power. In your name, Yahweh, our King, we ask a blessing upon our nation of Israel, Father. In your name, we say hallelujah. 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 In your name, Yahweh, we ask all these things. Amen.
Men of Israel, sons of God, PCC, sons of God, hand, salute,
Most High Christ bless.
salute, down, face, sisters. To the honorable daughters of Sarah, we say shalom.
Most High Christ bless.
All right, all right, all right. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom to my brothers and sisters around the planet Earth. I know there is a concerted effort to try to minimize this gospel. I know we are up against some heavy oppression, especially in these last days. And when I use the term last days, many people might be thinking about the present administration. In their mind, they'd be like, oh, okay, because Trump is in office. That's the reason why these words are more relevant now. Now, if I say the troubles in these last days, they think I'm talking about just because of the last election. Ever since America has been created, those have been the last days and the hell that we've been catching. All the tribes of Israel have been catching hell up under this beast. So don't just think it happened just because of Trump. So I kind of gave away the title just by saying that. But let me deal with the title so we can get right on into it. All right? Let's put the thumbnail up there. The Trump effect in the days of these kings. And I you know, when I sent that title to the brethren, they came back with the right thumbnail. Because usually, you know, sometimes I'll be looking, okay, put a little bit of this in it, I had to do nothing. They already knew. And they just laid it out. Bam! It was perfect. And I know that we've been getting, you know, most of the lineup has been Trump, Trump, Trump. You know, even things like the scriptures talk about at the last Trump, they say, okay, we'll throw him in there. You know what I mean? Trumpets, and you know, which is all right. It's all right. But what I'm talking about when I say the Trump effect in the days of these kings, I am not just merely or individually speaking about Trump himself. Trump is a part of a whole system. And oftentimes we look for the boogeyman, so to speak. And we let all the rest of the boogeymen off because the media has warped our minds, have did a number on us. You know what I mean? Make us look at things make us not look at things that are obvious, and then make us pay attention to things that are not so prevalent as what you thought was nothing. You understand? So media makes people think a particular way. So when people see titles like what I said, the Trump effect, they're just thinking about Donald Trump, the man himself. I said the Trump effect because his demeanor, everything that he's doing is in line with Babylon the Great 100%. And many people are basically looking at him talking about he's a 666. I can imagine they probably got all kind of memes out here and all that, calling him the devil, putting horns on his head and let all the rest of the Edomites off. And they all the same, okay? Biden is the same. Bush is the same. Reagan, Obama, all of them work for the same Satan, okay? And that's what you got to realize. But why is it that most people are focused on Donald Trump himself? Is because he's putting it out in your face, so to speak. But it's not even because he's putting it in your face. The reason why you're seeing it more is because the media is putting it out there, letting you see it. But more damage was done to us under these other presidents that don't even get in the airplay. Like a lot of the stuff that's going on now, I'll give you an example. There's a lot that's going on in the news now talking about DEI hires, right? And they're saying that it's basically like the affirmative action, or they're just sticking people in these high positions, and they really can't do this and they really can't do that. And you got everybody mad at the so-called Negro. I mean, that's a hell of a thing now. Now you got such a spirit that's going on out here. People might be like getting ready to get on the plane, and they want to see the pilot that go in there. They say, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna say it because I know that's how some people are thinking. They won't say it, but I know that's how they looking. You understand? They're like, I want to see what doctor it is. You understand? Because they're putting it out there. What are you saying, damn fool? Like what? You didn't know? You don't know that that's how these people are thinking? Yo, man, say I'm about to jump. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna stay on course. I'm gonna stay on course. There you go. Someone bring it out. This is how I get into trouble. But again, let me just digress right back to this here. The Trump effect in the days of these kings. Let's get right into the scriptures, right? Well, let me outline it, then I'll get into the scriptures. Like I said, and this is part one. I have to do this in parts because it's too much information. I've been working on this for like 2.5 days. And I had a lot going on this week, by the way, but I was trying to put all of this stuff together and make it make sense. And then I realized I got so many ingredients going into the pot. I said, if I just throw it all out there, I'm going to make a mess. So let me give it in pieces and steps. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is part one, right? The Trump effect is about the attitude and spirit of the pragmatists and sociopathic execution of their survival against the judgment of God. Let me explain that. I'm going to say that again. I said the Trump effect is about the attitude and the spirit and the pragmatists, because these people are very pragmatic. Let's look up the word pragmatic. Let's look at the word pragmatic since I threw that out there. And then I said the spirit of these pragmatic type of people. And even though I've used the word pragmatic, when I talk about us, how we have to be pragmatic about getting things done, which means of no nonsense, meaning that we have to get it done irregardless. Okay? That's a good spirit to have in righteousness. But these people in this kingdom, they have that pragmatism coupled with sociopathic behavior, which means no emotions at all. I mean, they'll kill up whole families, wipe out whole colonies and this and that, and won't think nothing about it. Okay? Sociopath. You got it? Let's look at it.
Definition of pragmatic.
Where's my read at? I like to look at them. Okay, come on with it.
Definition of pragmatic. Dealing with things sensibly and realistically.
The word I want to draw is realistically. Realistically. They deal with things realistically. Read on. What does it say?
In a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations.
They're not interested in theoretical considerations. Their actions are based on what is practical that's going to get us to where we want to be. So if I have to wipe out whole villages of people, the way that they want to go is to set it up. You understand? So they're not looking at the theoretical considerations, if you will, or the humanitarian considerations. I'm going to use those words. They're not looking at things like that. They're saying that it must be done irregardless. And that's the reason why I coupled it with a sociopath. Sociopaths are people, and I heard something recently where they said that, I'm trying to remember where I heard it. They said that the CIA recruits people with a sociopathic spirit, so to speak. I can't remember the word that they use. We were talking about it last night, but there was I saw that somewhere. But anyway, I'll make the point of telling you about sociopaths. sociopathic people, they could commit murders, they can commit rape, they could do all kinds of evils. And normally, if you are a righteous person that don't have this sociopathic spirit, when you get questioned, your eyes start flickering. People could tell when you're lying. People could tell when you're bothered by it. People could tell that you're upset because something is wrong with what I just did yesterday. Sociopath can completely disassociate themselves from that at all, and they won't register. You won't pick up nothing. That's what I'm talking about. So they're pragmatic and they're sociopathic in their actions. So they don't have that spirit of feeling sorry and all of that. You understand? You come over here and you literally murder the inhabitants of the land, and then you actually going on. Yeah, I heard this. They actually going on reservations and got the brothers and the sisters running around trying to find papers that say that they're illegal to be here. I heard that. That's crazy. The land was stolen from them. First of all, you took the whole house. You told them that they have to live in the bathroom. Now you're coming in the bathroom and say, where are your papers at? And the sociopathic behavior is like, we don't give a damn because it's about our survival. That's how they think. That's the point of what I'm saying about pragmatic. Put that thing back up there again. It's based on practical. Practical meaning that these are the things that's going to be working for them. Let's look at these synonyms down here. It says similar. Matter of fact, realistic, sensible, down to earth. That's what they're saying. Hard-hearted, meaning that they are undeterred. Businesslike. These are things that they have to do. That's business to them. Understand the point? It's to us, it ain't business like it's wicked as hell and such. But their point is we must do it because this is our survival. You'll understand. Let me give you the reason why they are like this here. And you won't be just looking at Trump. You think about all of them this way. Give me the book of Obadiah. Obadiah. The verse, what is it, verse 18? Give me verse 1, then jump to 18. Because we might have some new brothers and sisters online. And while I'm at that, let me just say shalom to my brothers and sisters that's watching online. All praise to the Most High that you're here and you're able to join us in this Sabbath lecture, this Sabbath lesson, this Sabbath class. So all praise to the Most High. And let the Lord open your mind to receive this class. You got it? Who's reading? Who's got? Oh, so you're doing both. Okay. Obadiah 1:18. Come on.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 18.
Well, this was actually one chapter, so it's verse 18.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Obadiah, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire.
The house of Jacob is the 12 tribes of Israel. Shall be a fire. Go ahead.
And the house of Joseph a flame.
And the house of Joseph a flame. Well, Joseph represents the rest of Israel, so let me do it again. So you got Judah and Northern Kingdom, both kingdoms. And that's important to know, too. In these days here, with this Trump effect, like I said, it ain't just Trump. It's the effect of what's over this whole system. We should have been uniting the tribes. I'm talking about the two kingdoms. We should have, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom should have been united. But we've been playing games, twerking, doing all kinds of evil and stuff. So the Most High said, let me turn up a little bit more where they're thinking that Trump is the problem when we're the frogs that have been boiling in America for the longest. We don't even realize how hot the pan is because we've been slowly boiled into an oblivion where we can't even think. Now, Trump basically said, well, I'm not going to slowly boil them. Let me turn the fire up to the temperature that you've always been feeling. Now, all of a sudden, we're pointing at him. We've been boiling. Y'all all right? Where am I at? Read. What was I doing? What was I doing? I was reading something, right?
Verse 18.
Yes, sir. Read that again.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire.
So now I know the reason why I went there, because I was talking about the two kingdoms, Judah and Israel. All 12 tribes need to understand that their unity, our unity, is so important today. We should have. It been important, but now it's more important because now the Most High is showing us. Listen, you better get your act together before I really start bringing the hammers down on you. Now I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So the house of Israel shall be a fire and a flame. Read.
and the house of Esau for stubble.
I'm getting into the reason why Esau is pragmatic and a sociopath when it comes to his murderous spree and the way he operates. Don't get mad at him. A lot of people think we're angry at him. Why in the world am I going to be angry at him? Hold it. Stop. Hold that. I need another reader. You don't move. Give me Romans 9. Give me Romans 9. Huh? Okay. Romans 9. Give me the verse where it says, who has resisted his will? I heard some craziness recently, too, talking about some Romans 9:13 don't mean hate. Like it says there. All of a sudden, when it comes to Esau, hate don't mean hate. But so I'll deal with that in a minute. I don't want to digress from where I'm going. But how is it that all of the things that, wait a minute, when we were lynched on trees, was that hate? When we were dragged over here on slave ships, was that hate? When our women were raped every day, was that hate? How can we understand hate then? Now when the Most High says he hates them, all of a sudden it don't mean that. Yeah, show that picture there. This is love, right? This is the kind of hate that don't really mean hate. Is that it? Look at this here. No, go back. Yeah, I see you got the slides going on, but that's all right. This happened during the massacre. Wait a minute. The massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was an act of love. That was an act of hate, 100%. This little boy had to find his sister. That's his sister that he's holding. That's his sister that he's holding, and her head is missing. Think about the trauma of trying to identify your sister in all the destructive rubble. To try to say, well, she doesn't have a head where I can identify my sister. I have to go by what she last wore. Or look, maybe she have a scratch on her finger or something. I got to look for other things all over her body to try to say, is this my sister or not? Y'all understand that? That's an act of hate. What's this dude named Ted Bundy? He was killing people and taking their heads off. And the reason why he was taking their heads off so you couldn't identify who he murdered. Stuff like that. Sociopath. That's how these people get down. Y'all all right? Where am I at? Okay.
Romans.
Yeah, Romans, yes. Read that.
Romans chapter 9, verse 19.
And now the reason why I'm reading it is because I'm saying that I'm not upset with what God made. That's my point. God created him for a reason. This ain't hate speech. I know they want to eventually say that, but this is not hate speech. It's the truth. And yes, the truth is going to become illegal. Y'all understand that? You really have to understand that. How in the world, let me hold this Bible up. In God we trust, right? See this? After a while, this Bible is not going to fit within the gears of America. Meaning that here you have a country that's stolen. Here you have a country that dealt with slavery, never paid us back, never dealt with us right at all, on no level. Then here comes the Bible bringing forth justice, and they know that this Bible is going to bring forth a judgment because of their actions. Eventually, they're going to have to deem this illegal because this is going to be a constant reminder that they did wrong. And anybody that's speaking this is also going to become public enemy number one. Y'all all right? So as they bring their preachers in, their preachers that's prominent all over, they're not going to deal with this truth. They're not going to deal with this Bible the way it is written. So they'll use them to coax the people's minds, to keep them asleep. But if you tell the truth of this Bible, you're going to be marked as public enemy number one. They're going to call you a hate group, all the rest of it. Okay? So just keep those things in mind. Read that again.
Romans chapter 9, verse 19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault?
This is why I was saying I don't have a problem with Esau being Esau because the Most High made him that way. Don't let me forget, we're going back to Obadiah because I got to explain their pragmatism and their social, what they call it, social path. I can't get the word right. Yeah, social path. Yeah. There's a way to say it. I can't. Somebody ain't got. Okay. But go ahead.
That would say then unto
something
me,
like that. Go ahead.
Why doth he yet find fault?
Why does God why does God find, he said, why does he yet find fault? What would that mean? Because the Lord is still going to destroy him for what he did. But the Lord made him do it. He made him that way. And he knows that. Esau knows that. Esau knows that he's on borrowed time. Esau knows that he doesn't have everlasting life. So if you know that that's your eminent domain, can't go no further than that, what would you do? And you trying to reconcile with this beast. You don't understand what you're dealing with. I've said that time to time. You don't understand what you're dealing with. We're talking about, so let's try to make some amends. You don't understand the mentality. He said, listen, you got the promise of everlasting life. As long as you don't listen to me. That's how Esau talk. Because if you listen to me, then I can cause you to die with me. But you have the chance to live forever with your God. I don't have that. So being that I don't have that, I got to create havoc and hell and destruction. I got to live it up, do all the evil. I got to get it all out my bones now. And you have to understand that. And he said, and after the end of what the Lord made me do, he designed me to be evil, designed me to be Satan, designed me to be the wicked. And after I do all of this, the same God that created me is going to punish me and destroy me. So with him knowing that, what in the world are you trying to make some sense out of it for? Leave him alone. Leave that snake alone. Don't call it a pretty snake. Stay away from it. Then when it bites you, you know it was a snake. Read.
Why doth he yet find fault?
So here's our people. Lord, you made them the wicked. How in the world you gonna be mad at them? That's an argument. That was actually put in there for our simple people today. Talking about why does he find fault with who he created to have fault with? Go ahead.
For who has resisted his will?
That's the part. Who can resist the will of God? God made him that way. If you were made that way, how in the world could you do anything but be what God made you? So the argument was, well, if you made him that way, why are you mad at him? The Lord going to deal with that. Keep reading.
Nay, but oh man.
In other words, Negro, shut the hell up. That's what he's saying. Nay, but oh man, shut the living hell up. Shafop. Okay. Read it again.
Nay, but oh man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Meaning you are a worm compared to me. Who art thou that replieth against the Creator? I made him that way. You better just stay out of his way because I made him that way. Go ahead.
Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it?
That's the Most High. He's explaining he's explaining the relationship between himself and the things that he created. I'm the power. I'm the Most High. I'm the all omnipresent power of all times. What did he say?
Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus?
He made one vessel to move his bowels in, and he made the other vessel to drink wine out of. What in the world could the toilet say to the man that created him to be the toilet? What else could the toilet do but flush? You understand what I'm saying? What else could a snake do but bite you when it was made to do that? That's the point. I know that just sounds, people say that sounds racist and all the rest of it. I ain't got time to deal with the Negro and the shenanigans. But you get the point. So if he's made that way, what could you do about it? Nothing. You just need to understand what it is and move in the way God made you. That's the point. That's what the problem is. We're not doing what the Lord made us to be. Now go back to Obadiah. Did I get all my points out in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go back to Obadiah.
Obadiah, verse 18.
I'm still dealing with the Trump effect because I had to point that out because I'm not specifically dealing with Trump himself. I'm dealing with the effect of Trumpism, if you will, all throughout this government, all throughout the longevity or the shortgevity, I should say, because they ain't really been ruling that long in this country, but the span of this country here. Read.
Obadiah, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame,
Mm-hmm.
and the house of Esau for stubble.
And the house of Esau for being burnt up. That's what God created them for. Go ahead.
And they shall kindle in them,
And they shall burn them up completely. The Israelites shall burn them up completely. Go ahead.
and devour them.
And devour them. Make sure they burnt up good. Go ahead.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
They know this. For there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord God who created him to be destroyed have spoken it. What in the world could a Negro say in response to that? Neighbor, oh man, shut the hell up. That's what you say. Nothing. Go back to pragmatic.
Definition of pragmatic: dealing with things sensibly and realistically.
So they're pragmatic in how they operate. They're pragmatic in how they had to come and destroy and set up and kill and murder. They are pragmatic with that because their thing is, if we don't do this, we will not survive. If God hates me, what do I have left? I have to do these things. And I have to trick you into thinking that I'm your friend. Because every step of progress for him is another, in his mind, is another minute of survival on the clock. His days are numbered. Your days are not. That's a huge difference. That's the reason why they will never love you. They will never love you. They understand that. Y'all all right? So now let me get back to the lesson. That was it on that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I said that the Trump effect in the days of these kings, and this is part one, like I said. The Trump effect is about the attitude and spirit of the pragmatists, meaning these people, and the sociopathic mindset in their execution of their survival against the judgment of God to shut them down. So they're fighting against God. That's what the war of Armageddon is about. Talking about some God don't hate Esau. When the war at the end with the war of, let me do that. I just got to deal with these things. Give me Revelation 12. Give me verse 9 and 10. Give me the third verse in 9 and 10. Who's this talking about?
Revelation chapter.
And the question is, who's fighting God? So you mean to tell me God is fighting people he loves? Read.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon. That's right. Show it on the board. Here's the great red dragon. The 7 heads. That's what it's talking about. The great red dragon. Read it.
Having 7 heads.
Here's the 7 heads. Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and Great Britain. Those are the 7. Then, because later on, I got it in my scriptures. We're going to go over this. We're going to talk about this in the 17th chapter. And then the 8th head represents America, which came out of the 7, and it shall be destroyed. So God got the whole thing laid out. They can't get out of it. They can't break that. All of these people that run this system, they know who they are. And the problem is that we are waking up to it, and the more of us that wake up to it is causing a problem, because the more we wake up, the faster their demise come. Why do you think all this is happening with this deportation and all that? They're moving 30,000 Ukrainians into Chicago to get rid of the people there, because they're trying to break the tribes up. They don't want that. That's what listen, all eyes is on us. You better believe that. All eyes is on this group right here teaching this Bible. Because they said that group is going to end up waking up the 12 tribes of Israel, and we are in trouble. That's what's happening. Okay? Where am I at?
Verse 3, Bishop.
What
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 3.
Read it again. Thank you.
And there appeared.
Okay, there's the scripture. Go ahead.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Come on.
And behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon. Go ahead.
Having 7 heads.
Meaning 7 kings among them. Go ahead.
And 10 horns.
And 10 horns, the common markets. EEU, so you can understand. NATO. Go ahead.
And 7 crowns upon his heads.
And the 7 crowns represents the 7 rulers, like I told you, like I just mentioned earlier. We just named them. Go ahead.
And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven.
Now jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out.
And that great dragon, the same red dragon, was cast out of his rulership. That's where he's worried about that right now. And the great dragon was cast out. Go ahead.
That old serpent, called the devil.
The white man is the devil because he's not white. You've been deceived in talking about white. You ain't never seen a white man ever you've never ever seen a white man ever. They don't exist. Just like a black man don't exist. You ain't none of you black per se. Ain't none of you quote unquote white per se. The Most High gives the color red. Read.
And Satan.
And it's called the devil, and he's also called Satan. The word devil means evil. The word devil means evil. The word Satan means adversary. Okay, he's the adversary of God, and the devil is the vessel that brings evil into the earth. And evils were multiplied when these people started ruling. So there you go. Y'all understand that? They know who they are. That's in their history books. They know that. Go ahead.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
What did this devil do? Deceive the whole planet with his main media, ABC, CBS, and that's the point that I was getting at earlier. Our people have been put to sleep into thinking that Trump, the man Trump, is the only one with a 666 in the back of his head, so to speak, like the little omen child or something, and everybody else is good fellas. Meanwhile, the reason why, because I was talking about the DEI thing. Trump made a statement about the air traffic controllers. And he said, we want the best people in there. We don't want any DEI employees in there. Stuff like that, right? And they throwing that word out there. And we already know what affirmative action was all about. Let me just say it from the offset. Affirmative action was not about putting just shooting people into these positions that were not qualified. It was the contrary. Our people were being denied with the qualifications because of their color. Y'all understand that? But how is it that they are able to get away with a narrative of saying that they don't have many of our black people that's working in these fields, and because of that, they're saying that the government and Biden and the rest of them, they always throw these different people up, is pushing these people into these positions, putting them into traffic controllers, putting them into technical occupations and so forth that require quote unquote intelligence and superior brains and all this stuff. So they say, why is it that this government force is forcing mediocre people into these sensitive positions? That's what they're saying, and the American public is buying it. They're actually buying it. That's why I was making the statement earlier about getting on a plane. Right. They're gonna be sitting there and be looking and say, "Oh, okay, he must be a DEI hire." Meanwhile, he's the smartest. Like I give you another example. I should have brought. If I would have been thinking about this here, I have an article on this doctor. His name is Black. I had it many years. He's a brain surgeon, one of the top surgeons on the planet. They had to fly this dude in from anywhere when they want the best. I'm gonna post it. Maybe I could do a post production or something to bring that information. And he believes in God. That's what he says. He said what makes him a good brain surgeon is because he believes in God. He said there's no way in the world you could be a brain surgeon and dealing with these things, dealing with the mind and all that, and you don't believe in God. You see the creation of God when you deal with that. That's what he was saying. It's a wonderful article. I got to bring it in. Had it many years, like in the 80s or something, but I kept it. Y'all all right? All right, so where am I at? I didn't digress. So the DEI hire. The reason what's happening is that, like I said, everybody's pointing to Trump. Trump pointing to, DEI. Right? DEI, that's what it's called. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, that thing. So they got people thinking that, oh, you must be a DEI hire or an affirmative. That was what they were using, the interchange, an affirmative action hire, stuff like that. and everybody's pointing at Trump. The Biden administration, your old friend Biden, with his Sleepy Joe, with his crime bill, got many of the black fathers destroyed, where a lot of the kids that came up in those families never even had fathers to even make sure that they went to school to learn this and that and different things. You feel me? A greater crime was created underneath that than somebody merely pointing and saying this and that. You dig what I'm saying? But why is it that people never really saw it? Why people never really paid attention to it? Because the media, like I said before, that's the deceiving that we were talking about in Revelation, did not really make you see it. In other words, they say if we don't show it to the people, they won't see it. They can hide things right in your face. If your mind is not tuned to it, you won't even see it. So depending on what they turn your mind to see, that's the only thing you're going to notice. You feel me? So that's the point of that whole thing. Read that thing again, that deception. That 12 and 9.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9.
And again, I'm explaining the pragmatism. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil.
That old serpent called the devil. Go ahead.
And Satan.
And Satan. Come on.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Which did what?
Deceiveth the whole world.
He deceived the planet Earth with lies. Huh? Yeah, all of these media people, that's what they did. All of these people got people's minds on channel 0. The things that they supposed to notice, right? The things that we supposed to notice, like these people been evil. They ain't just waiting for the omen, like Trump is an omen, 666, Damien. This whole system has been that way. But the media made you think that these people was all right, and then all of a sudden they give you the boogeyman. Now all of a sudden everybody's scared of him. When the word is Obama deported more people than Trump did to this day. But how is it that nobody knew that? Because the channels weren't telling you to look at that. And they never brought the cameras in to show you what was actually happening. But now they're bringing the cameras to the workplace where they putting Ephraim in cuffs and all that. Going to Issachar and different places, got brothers scared all over the place. When you had a more chance of getting deported underneath everybody else. But now because they're showing it to you, now you're all up in arms and you'd have forgot about everything else. That's an example of deceiving. A better example of deceiving is saying that Christ is white. There's no Bible on the planet in written words that give you a quote-unquote Caucasian image of Jesus. Nowhere. But you go to your little babies and say, who is that? And they say, that's Jesus. Little Charles Manson looking thing. Huh? They show that thing and the baby talking about something, that's Jesus. Yeah, show that thing up there. Don't show it up there too long now. They say that's Jesus. Y'all all right? Okay. Read the rest of that thing.
Yes, sir. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
And all of his constituents, his preachers, his politicians, everything is going down with him. All his powers, all of the things that work with him is going down with him. His education, his political system, his preachers, his wicked music, everything is going down with him. All of those are his angels. Those are his messengers, angels and messengers to your brain. They send you evil messages through music. They send you evil messages through these wicked preachers, through these politicians, through these policymakers. All of these people send evil to your mind to blind you. The Lord is going to take him out and take out all of those messengers with him, the angels that's with him. They all going. And they're going to lock all that up. Y'all all right? So they know that this is coming. So they said, listen, being that we're on borrowed time, they said, come. Let us come together and stop those Israelites. That's what the point is. And that's not just because of Trump. That has been going on. Y'all all right? I'm not telling you to go to sleep on him, because he's out here to burn you. But we've been getting burnt the whole time. We've been told that it's not fire. We just told that it just looks hot. Meanwhile, our behind is literally burning up. Okay. Now, so we read that, right? You finished that verse?
Yes, sir.
No, it ain't. There's some on there. Read what? No, that was verse 9. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven.
Now, so when this man goes down, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, and all his angels and his ministers, everything that's involved in him is going to be destroyed along with him. When he goes down, what's going to happen?
Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom.
So what is in the way of our salvation? You see what I'm talking about? Right there in the Bible, it's letting you know our salvation comes when these people are no longer ruling. That's what 2nd Ezra is talking about. And Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth after Esau is the end of the world being destroyed. For Jacob, it said for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the world that followeth. So if it's going to follow, where's it going to follow at? On earth. A lot of people just don't pick up on small things. It says, right, there's little words. For Esau is the end of the world. The world is talking about the planet. When he's gone, it said, then Jacob will, it said, and Jacob is the, how it go? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when Jacob rules, where is he going to rule at? In earth. So it's going to be a change of worlds. They don't want that. That's what we're reading here in the 12th chapter. Verse 9 is the destruction of Esau and the 7 heads, the great red dragon, and the 10th verse is Israel rising. Read 9 and 10 again, then we're going to move on.
Yes, sir. Revelation.
I'm pointing this out because I'm letting you know that the Trump effect is about what we're reading. And don't just think it's talking about Trump. It's talking about all of them. Kamala Harris, all of them. Because they be like, well, damn, man, y'all don't sound like y'all like Trump now. All of them is evil as hell. Hell, I'll be honest with you. Trump is actually better for us than Kamala was. Because he's going to force Israel to get the SH together. You don't need to be somewhere popping your fingers, switching your behind, twerking, killing babies wholesale, talking about something you're all right. No, you need a wake-up call. Just like I spoke to some brothers earlier during the time of Mondale and Reagan. Black folks wanted Mondale because he was talking about programs and Section 8 and all that. And black folks were like, yeah, we need that thing. The Lord said, that's what you want, but I'm going to give you Reagan. Reagan said, no more handouts, no more dough, no more student loans, no more this, no more that, no Section 8, no nothing. So black folks had to get off their ass and organize and work a little bit. Yeah, we don't want that thing. And the Most High is doing that now. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. You've been lullabied into thinking that you ain't oppressor. You have been all right. Let me watch some twerk. Let me twerk to Kamala and Biden and all that foolishness. The Most High said, no, I need to agitate you to make you move. I didn't put you to, yeah, rise up, ye women that are at ease, all that. Read, where were we at?
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
He deceived the whole planet Earth with his media. That's what we was talking about. That's why I put that up there earlier. All the media figures. Go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth.
He was cast out into the earth. Go ahead.
And his angels.
Into the earth meaning captivity. In the earth meaning no more rulership. That's what it explains that in Lamentations. Let's read that real quick. He was cast out into the earth, meaning no more rulership. These daggone deceiving preachers made you think that this happened way in the beginning of time. Talking about some Satan was kicked out of heaven by God, and he went down there and deceived the angels and all that kind of stuff. That Christian BS, madness. You got it? Lamentation, what is it, 5 and 1?
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our inheritance is given to strangers. Go ahead.
our houses to aliens.
Wait a minute. What, aliens? What in the world you mean coming on my land and asking me for papers? And you're the damn alien.
Yeah.
You coming, you asking me for papers, and I'm in my own land. That's why I said I never could understand that thing. I could never understand their meaning of justice. I'm telling you, I can't do it. I couldn't. In clear conscience, I just can't be a part of that thing. I don't understand it. You asking me for papers. We got to see your papers. I'm like, but I'm home. What the hell are you doing here? You need to be in jail.
Yeah.
Asking me for, but that's that pragmatic, sociopathic mindset. You know when they give sociopaths, what they call it, the polygraph tests, they flatline. They don't, no emotions register on it at all, regardless of what you throw at them, because they know how to detach themselves from the blood that's still in their fingernails. They said, this ain't blood, this was cherry pie that I was eating. And look at you with a straight face. Sociopath. That's how these people are. And they have to be that way. God made them that way. They got to be that way in order for them to be able to hold down the planet. With all these people angry as hell. Huh? Oh, yeah, it is. There it is. What are we talking? Show it up there. Lord have mercy. CIA operative reveals mental disorder agency actively seeks to hire because it makes for better spies. Okay? Mental disorder. They ain't really telling you what it is. Does it go in? Does it say so in the article? Does it use the word sociopath? Bring it out.
John Kiriakou, who had a 14-year career as a CIA officer, said the agency actively seeks to hire people who have sociopathic tendencies, but avoids individuals with a full-blown disorder. A sociopath is someone who lacks empathy, disregards the feelings of others, and may manipulate or harm people without remorse.
That's exactly what Americans did to the natives. No remorse, pragmatic, sociopathic spirits. Damn. So it's actually, read it. Go ahead. Damn, I didn't even know that was. Read that thing.
Often for their own personal gain.
For their own personal gain and stealing their land. Go ahead.
Sociopaths are impossible to control, said Kiriakou.
Some of you trying to marry them. Huh? Trying to civilize them. You don't understand the nature of this beast. You don't get it. Then when it bites you, go ahead, man. Read.
They slip through the cracks because they
slip through the cracks. Come on.
Because they have no conscience.
They have no conscience. Hey. Stokely Carmichael. Stokely, can we find that? I should have given it. Do y'all have that on deck? Hold it. They have no conscience. This is going back to Dr. King. In the 60s. Just bear with me now. It was I don't know if it's online. Do y'all have it like in a folder or something? I don't even know if you find it. Somebody, all right, hold on. It was the Black Power mixtape. That's where it was from. I remember seeing it in that film. The Black Power mixtape. There it is right there. Boom. Top one. Hit it. The 134. Wham. Sociopath. Hit me. Hold it. I don't hear no sound. Listen now.
I guess we could start with 1956 for our generation. This was the beginning of the rise of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Who had plenty conscience. Dr. Martin Luther King had plenty conscience. Even tried to care for white folks. Go ahead.
King decided that in Montgomery, Alabama, black people had to pay the same prices on the buses as did white people, but we had to sit in the back.
Now, wait a minute now. Hold it. Black people had to pay the same prices to ride the bus, but we had to sit in the back. Let's add up some things. Why in the world are we in a country being treated like SHIT. Nobody even thought about that. First of all, you're humiliated just when you walking down the street, they calling you nigga, they throwing stuff at you, kicking you in the behind, throwing watermelon at you, and then at the same time, you got to pay the same price to get on a bus to sit in the back. And there's no empathy at all. Why? Because their motto was, we can't get involved in their feelings because we need them as our slaves. I got to say it that way. That's that thinking. We need them. We can't get involved with them. Don't marry. That's how they think. Do not marry them. That's what they tell their own about us. They say, you are not to get with them like that because they are our footstool for us to rule. They are our fuel for us to be. That's their conversation. You thinking you sitting on an equal footing with them, and they got it written in their own constitutions that it ain't about that. When you read that Dred Scott decision thing, okay, play on in this thing, man.
Could only sit in the back if every available seat was taken by a white person. If a white person was standing, a black person could not sit.
So you hold it. Even if you was in the back of the bus sitting and a white man was standing, you have to give that seat up. Imagine what that does to you over generations, over years and years of constantly, by law, being made to denigrate yourself and give privilege to them, knowing that you were thoroughly robbed, knowing that your ancestors were destroyed, knowing that you've been that no real justice is coming. 4 girls bombed in a church. Emmett Till had just got murdered just before this incident here, tied to a fan and thrown into the Tallahatchie River. And a mother had to go and identify a torn up body. And they wanted her to have a closed casket. She said, no, the world needs to see what you bastards did. And it took courage for her to do that. It's the same credit, it's the same point that I give to Tiffany Carter, who was the mother of Rasheem Carter, who was murdered recently. And bones were found that they have to later put together and say, oh, this was my son. And every new part of the body that they find, it reopens her wounds. And still no justice. Come on.
So Dr. King and his associates got together and said, this is inhuman. We will boycott your bus.
So wait a minute. Dr. King said, listen, all of this evil that's happening, this is inhuman. He's trying to Dr. King is trying to stand up for himself in the face of overwhelming tyranny and evil and racism and you name it. He said, this is not right. So what did he do? Go ahead.
I understand what a boycott is.
He simply boycotted it. He's making a point about how harmless the boycott situation is, because it's not violent. It's not about attacking anybody. We're just basically saying we're not going to ride your buses and spend our money. Nothing of the how in the world are you breaking the law by saying, okay, I choose not to eat in your restaurants? Go ahead, play it.
A boycott is a passive act.
It's a passive, hold it, a passive act. There's no aggression in it. There's no antagonism, nothing at all. It's passive. I simply choose to not ride your buses. Go ahead.
Most passive political act that anyone can commit, a boycott. Because what the boycott was doing was simply saying, we will not ride your buses. No sort of antagonism. He was not even verbally violent. He was peaceful. Dr. King's policy was that nonviolence would achieve the gains for black people in the United States. His major assumption was that if you are nonviolent, if you suffer, your opponent will see your suffering and will be moved to change his heart.
Not when you're dealing, not when you're dealing with a sociopath. That's the point that he's bringing up. He's saying that the fact that you're allowing them to beat you up, sick dogs on you, pee on you, do whatever they want to do, you would just lay there and let them whip the hell out of you, and you would just say, well, hopefully he'll stop beating me because he'll feel sorry for me. You ain't dealing with that kind of beast. You don't understand the motive behind them doing that. That's what he's bringing out. Some of y'all looking at me like, Bishop, he done went off the deep end. I'm telling you, some of them might play nice, but at the end of things, let me do it a different way. I be picking up spirits. I do. Some of y'all might be thinking, well, he can't mean all of them. Which one of them is saying, since we enslaved you, enslave us? Where the liberalness at? Where's the group of them that's saying, since we stole your land, here's your land back? Where's that at? Ain't not a damn one of them say. They'll get in your groups and be with you, rah, rah, rah. But in the reality, they're just getting in there to steer it to put you back to sleep. They ain't trying to give this up at all. You better recognize that. You better recognize that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, just the other day on one of, I think it was MSNBC or whatever the case may be, they were talking about our black struggle and what we did and how we progressed and the evils that Esau put upon us. The white man that lived through that time, he sat up on the panel and says, well, when I look at the history books, I don't read that in there.
Wow.
Prove to me that happened, because I don't see it. Completely wipe that history off the face of the planet, except when we bring it out in this Bible. All right?
And you got to understand the relationship that Esau has to you. When he's sitting in the room with you, he's not, in his mind, he's looking at you like you're not his equal, like you're below him. In his mind, I don't even owe you the dignity of the respect of even making things make sense. He said, my ancestors taught me to make sure that you stay beneath me. So to them, to disrespect us is normal to them. And you trying to muster up some conscience in them, and it ain't there. Because they weren't brought that way. The educational system don't teach them that. I'm going too far. I'm going too far. I got no tether. I got no tether behind me to make sure I don't go. Read.
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse.
No. That ain't what I wanted. Hold that. We keep that in the chamber. Pragmatic. Put pragmatic. We ain't going back to the film. I know I got to finish the film. Put the pragmatic back up. Sociopath. The thing that we were looking at. The CIA thing. Yes, the article. Put that back up there again. What's that part at?
Sociopaths
are impossible. Go ahead. Right? No. The one above it. Lack empathy.
A sociopath is someone who lacks empathy, disregards the feelings of others.
Disregards the feelings of others. Hold it. The feelings of others would be, we dragged these people over here on the slave ships. We destroyed their fathers. We raped their mothers. We castrated their men. And we treated them less than garbage. We never educated them so that they can't get certain kinds of jobs. All of that. And if something comes along and try to give you some push to get it, they call you DEI. They call you affirmative action. All of that stuff, knowing damn well that we've been thoroughly robbed. And they know that they robbed us, and then they still treat us like SHIT. And you trying to figure out why. Read that again. What does it say? Sociopath?
A sociopath is someone who lacks empathy, disregards the feelings of others, and may manipulate or harm people without remorse.
The Negro has been totally manipulated and harmed without remorse. We don't give a damn. So what? You heard Biden? It doesn't matter that they came out of deprived homes. Talking about your sons. It doesn't matter that they came that they didn't have a two-parent household. Right now, we're dealing with predators, and they need to be locked up and taken away. That's what he said. A damn senator.
Hillary Clinton said it too. She
called them super predators. And y'all looking at Trump. Jesus Christ. Huh? You've been getting it. Read.
Often for their own personal gain.
Their own personal gain was to take the land, take the oil, take the resources, take the women, take everything. Leave them with nothing. That's what they did during the time of the boycott. We just said, we didn't take anything from them. We just said, we ain't going to give you our money. You can still keep your money. You can still ride your own buses. You treat us like SHIT, so let us have some dignity and go build for ourselves. They said, no, you're not allowed to do that because we need you to be our niggas. That's what they're saying. Read.
Sociopaths are impossible to control, said Kiriakou.
They like that. Remember, these people are being recruited. They like those people that are not influenced by feelings. That's what they're saying. You got to read between the lines. What does it say? Read that statement again.
Sociopaths are impossible to control.
They cannot be controlled by a nice woman, a black woman that's talking about something. Let me just love you. He can't. He said, okay, you can love me. Let me use your body, use your this, use your that, and I'm still gonna murder your parents and eat steak over your dripping over your corpse. Read that again.
Sociopaths are impossible to control,
Go ahead.
said Kiriakou.
Come on.
They slip through the cracks because they have no conscience.
In other words, we like that. That's what the recruiter said. We like that. Go ahead.
And they pass the polygraph very easily because they don't feel guilty.
They pass that's the point there. They flatline it. They flatline it. That's what it's talking about. Sociopaths flatline the polygraph. You can't tell what they're going. And they talk about some inconclusive. No, it's not so much that it's inconclusive. It doesn't register anything, no emotions at all. That's a sociopath. They know how to disassociate themselves from murder, rape, robbery, all the rest of it. All of the things that these conquistadors did, they know how to disassociate themselves from it. Sociopathic, pragmatic attitude. That ain't just Trump. That's this whole system. Read.
Someone who has some of these qualities tend to rise to the highest levels of the CIA.
There you go right there. There you go right there. You can't beat that. Oops, upside your head. Sociopath. That's what you're dealing with. Y'all all right? No, y'all ain't all right. Go back to the video. So Dr. King was dealing with these kinds of people and trying to let them beat you up and all of that. That's what the brother's saying. Come on.
Opponent will see your suffering and will be moved to change his heart. That's very good. He only made one fallacious assumption. In order for nonviolence to work, your opponent must have a conscience. The United States has none.
There you go. He didn't say Trump didn't have any. He said the United States has none. There you go.
He said, just in case you don't understand, everybody that sit up in that seat is a sociopath.
Are y'all all right? How in the world could you become president knowing that you have a populace that have been systematically destroyed and you literally do nothing for them? And you act as if they're okay. That's a sociopath. They don't need any help. They don't need this. And if somebody tries to get them up there, you're a DEI. If you try to build your own schools, despite the efforts to keep you from learning, they come against you. A sociopath. When Ukraine had all the problems, all the situation, and 30,000 of them came in, they didn't ask them for no papers. Gave it to them. 30,000 of them went to Chicago to basically whiten it out. Got too many niggas up there. I got to speak frank because that's how they talk. I'm quoting them. Y'all understand me? Huh? It says too many of them up there. Get them up there. So when they brought them in there, they ain't asking them for no papers. But at the same time, they're sending groups through and grabbing up people and saying, you got to go because you don't have your papers. And meanwhile, they literally own this. Their forefathers own this. Sociopath. Here we go. Your friend of mine, Joe Biden, hit me.
They had no background that enabled
Back
them
it up,
to-
back it up, back it up. We need all that. You busy talking about Trump. Look how he looked, too. And then you got to think about it. His son, cocaine in the White House. We don't give a damn. Guns, illegally get the guns and all that. And put it in the damn garbage. And I think the moms or the wife had to go get it. What if when they, quote-unquote, dispose of that firearm in a trash can, that T found it and went and committed some crime? T would be going to jail, under the jail. But then they said when they traced the information on the gun, they found out a person that bought it was not even supposed to even have they're supposed to look for him. They're supposed to trace where the gun came from. Biden, he ain't got no license to buy this damn thing. He ain't supposed to be such and such. They just wiped all that out. Pardon every damn, pardon bank crooks and pardon all of that. In your face, in our face. You ain't pardoning us. We didn't ask to be here. You calling us a criminal running around doing this here. You dragged us here and turned us into Frankenstein, then you blamed us.
The hell is this?
This is media has blinded us to these kinds of things. That's that great red dragon that I was talking about earlier that deceived us, that caused us to not see things like this here. I'm about to bring out some more scriptures. Believe me, they're coming. Hit the button. Let's get Joe Biden. Hold it. Back it up. Hold it. You got to hear all this stuff here. Come on.
My mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not
he's
they
talking
were
about his
deprived.
mercy. There was more to this. He said, my mother, your parents. He's speaking to his own Edomites. He ain't even no dog whistle. He's saying it straight out. He said, listen, my precious white people, your precious white people, we got a problem with these nookers. That's what he's saying. It doesn't matter how they got to be terrorists in the damn neighborhood. That's what they call us. Wolf pack. They call us minister society. They got videos, movies on us. All of these things that they say about us. He's saying that to his people. Play it again.
Back to the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to have...
Do y'all recognize that y'all listen to a sociopath? It doesn't matter if their mothers were raped. It doesn't matter if their fathers were destroyed and the product that came from them. We don't care about how they got that way. We have no empathy for that. Only thing we care about now is that you must die because you're messing with us. You're interfering with our objectives. Pragmatic. Sociopath. Senator. Damn president. Didn't give a damn about none of us. Hit it.
Become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result
What
is
society? It doesn't matter if we are the victims of the society that they created. We had to boycott. We had to do all kind of things just to survive, and those things warped our minds. The trauma that came from that. They said, yes, we created a hell for you, And because the hell made you traumatized, and you're acting out of your trauma, we don't care about that. We got to punish you because you're acting out of what we made you do. Lock you up and throw away the key so that me and my babies and my white privilege so that we can live in comfort on stolen land and we can eat on top of their dead bodies in comfort on Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving, and eat the cranberry sauce and pluck the feathers of the brothers and all that, and the stuffing and kick their heads on football day and all that. Having a good time. Y'all all right? That's what he said. Come on, play some more of this, and then we're gonna get on with the lesson.
Mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife.
Shoot my sister. What if he shot your sister with the gun that your son bought? Back that up again a little bit. See, huh? Y'all hear this?
Shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people.
Call it the cadre of young people. In other words, a wolf pack. A clump of evil. That's what's happening now. That's what's happening now. When this plane hit this helicopter, they're questioning it. They're looking at it. They say, you know what? You ain't even qualified to be dealing with no planes flying and all that. So now I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. Our people going to work, and if they got that hue, they got that melting, people gonna be looking at them like, do you really belong in there? Even though it's not said openly, but that's the thought. And that kind of spirit, that kind of psychology that's subtly seeping into the minds of our sisters and into the minds of our brothers, listen to me carefully, we had to normalize traumatic psychotic behavior just to survive. We have to normalize living like that. We have to make sense out of that. We have to endure trauma and make it work anyway. And nobody gives a damn. Go ahead.
Thousands of them born out of wedlock, without parents.
Why are they born out of wedlock? I mean, you can just go on and on. Why are these kids growing up born out of wedlock? Because because in the 70s, which is the era that he's talking about, their fathers were destroyed. I showed that in some of the classes prior to this one, talking about the absence of fathers. A systematic situation existed that literally took the fathers out of the homes. And then when they grow up without no fatherly guidance, then they go out and do these kinds of things. Then you get a senator that's basically saying, lock him up and get rid of him because he's a menace to society. Sociopath. I got to drill this in. I got to drill it in. I know people say, damn, he's been on this thing for a long time. But I got to drill it in because sometimes we forget. Go ahead, play on.
Without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes.
Stop. He said, listen, man, I know my time is up, but I need more time. I got to say what I got to say. I yield myself. He don't sound like Trump to me. He said, I don't care what y'all got, that gavel, that red and yellow and green thing that tell you when to go and stop. The hell with that. I'm going to say what I say. I'll give myself 3 more minutes. I need to get these points out. Go ahead.
Because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created.
Pause. He said because of neglect created. I wanted to make sure y'all heard that part. He said of what neglect created. Without seeing faces, I'm gonna show you how we've been psychologically trained to see things without even seeing it. As he was talking, did you think about white boys? No. Only thing that popped in your mind, let's be honest, was your black sons. Everyone sitting in here, that's who you saw. When he was talking, you saw your own black sons. And if we saw that, when they walk the streets, everybody else sees that too. So don't tell me that when they make a point about DEI hires and all that, people ain't thinking that way. That's a thought that's out here. I'm just showing you. And that's been the deal. Trump wasn't nowhere around when this was going on. Trump was somewhere talking about building a high-rise. Trump towers and all that. He wasn't nowhere near connected with any of this. Now all of a sudden, all of it fall on him. No, this thing been going on. The Trump effect, that's the point. What you look at now, when you say Trump, 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 what he's doing now, that effect has painted this whole country. Now, I'm going to read some scriptures that back that up. Y'all all right? We're about to get into it. So, all right, let's. So that's it on that, right? Was that it on this? Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So now, I wanted to make the point that, because I actually had this as a subtitle, and I said that the Trump effect in the days of these kings, and this is part 1, right, of this lecture, this class. And I made the point, again, of saying that the Trump effect is about the attitude and the spirit and the arrogancy and the pragmatic and the sociopathic spirit of how these people operate, on how these people operate. And they operate so that they could execute their endeavors for their own survival against God's judgment, who's going to wipe them out, like it said in Obadiah. We didn't finish reading that, did we? Let's go back to that Obadiah. Let's put the period on it. Don't leave it loose.
Yes, sir. Obadiah, verse 18.
This is explaining why they have this sociopathic, pragmatist type of attitude. Come on.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
Go ahead.
And they shall kindle in them.
And they shall kindle in them, or they're all going to be destroyed. God's saying that. Go ahead.
And devour them.
And they shall be devoured. Go ahead.
And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
For the Lord himself has spoken it. So there's no getting out of that at all. So if they knowing that that's their imminent demise, what are they going to do? They're going to fight back. They're not going to have any empathy. They're not going to have any conscience towards you, none of that at all, because every second is ticking away in the hourglass for them. That's some heavy stuff. That ain't your fate, that's their fate. That's their fate, F-A-T-E. Okay? So, during the putting to sleep of the people's minds, we've been made to believe that we have certain freedoms. Some of the black folks, because, you know, they sending these people out. They got ICE police. I remember a few weeks ago, I mentioned MJTF, which is basically the same thing, multi-jurisdictional task force. They don't really have to abide by certain local codes and all of that. It's more on a federal level. They're going in and snatching people off jobs and this and that and the other. Wait a minute. Illegals? They're saying that these are drug dealers. They're harming rapists and all that, but you're arresting them on the job. Did I miss something? You didn't catch him in a crack house. You didn't catch him in a rape den or something. You catching the men while they're at work. God damn. Give me the picture, man. I saw Latinos for Trump. Did we have that? Show that up there on the board, man.
Bring it out.
No, not this. That's coming. You don't have it. Okay. Look at this here. Illegal. And he's working. I'm showing you. We got it? Come on, throw it up there. Here it is. Wham! He got a T-shirt that says Latinos for Trump 2024.
The hell is this?
And he's got a helmet on. He's working. Huh? And they arrested him because he, quote unquote, don't have papers. But yet, 30,000 Ukrainians, where are their papers at? You had the airplane that was coming in. Remember all that skirmish when they went and pulled the military out? And you had people hanging on the damn wheels trying to get on the plane, and they brought all of them here. And where are their papers at?
Bring it out.
Why ain't nobody looking for them? I'm here to tell you, can we show a strip, the Gaza Strip, when they bombed it? Let me show you what's happening. There's a video clip that we run sometimes in the programs. You know what I'm talking about? When it just shows all that destruction. Yeah. Show that up there for a second. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. How much time I got? Because I'm getting ready to get into. Okay. I just got to bring these realities out here because information is what you need. The right kind of information. Here it is. Hit the button. Look at this. Now, what y'all looking at is where people used to live. The quote-unquote Palestinians. They used to live there. All that got bombed out. All destroyed. And you're looking at that. And they talk about rebuilding it. But they even, I've heard some talk say they're going to let some of them come back while at the same time they're giving Israel thousands upon thousands of bombs. So when they bring them back, they can kill them again. So the point is they don't really want the people there. Now I'm talking about overseas, right? The same damn thing is happening here. They're literally rounding up and getting rid of us. Many of our people, that's the video I was looking for. Rounding up, getting rid of them and want to replace them with these Ukrainians and these different people that's coming over. You dig it? So don't think it's all overseas. This is happening now. But the thing is, this has been going on. Everybody's in shock now because he's just showing it. In other words, it was in the New York Times, which nobody been reading. Now they put it in coloring books, and all of a sudden everybody's seeing it now. Because it's in our face now. But they've been dealing with these things, just nobody been reading it. You understand what I'm saying? These things have been happening. But now that they put it on regular swing your butt TV, where you can see it, now all of a sudden everybody's upset. But they've been playing these kinds of things going on, but we were not on that channel because our mind is in the frolic and foolishness. Not even realize that so much evil has been done to us, but we were like frogs boiling and slowly boiling in a pot. And we think we're all right. Now Trump said, no, let me turn the fire all the way up. Now all of a sudden we mad. All right. So I said, going back to my point, I want to look up another word also. When I was making a point about the Trump effect and the pragmatism and the sociopathic behavior against this truth. That's what we're dealing with. And we've been given the illusion of freedom. They gave you YouTube. I had a whole, like I said, I had a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to bring up, but I ain't got time to really go into it. But I'm going to mention these things because some people still believe that there is a such thing as freedom in this oppressive country. Here's a country that was stolen. The original people that own this are on quote-unquote reservations. What are they being reserved for? Nobody even asked that question. Reservations. What the hell is that? And then when they said, well, being that we ain't got nowhere else to do, let's go and see if they got papers. And if they ain't got papers, we got to get rid of them and just take over the whole thing anyway. So we think that we have certain freedoms. So they give you, quote, unquote, freedom of speech, even though they said we 3/5 of a human. Even to the other tribes that think that they don't fit within that. And the Dred Scott, can we pull that up? I just need it for just a second. Look up the Sanford versus Scott 1856 December term. Just bear with me. Don't let, because I'm all over the place, but because I'm going to get to, remind me to go back to draconian, because I want to talk about draconian. You got it? Yes, open it up. I want to find the part where it got the numbers in it, like 1, 2, 3, the articles. This is an actual court case where there was an argument or a court case involving Sanford versus Scott. Scott was the slave. Dred was the slave that wanted to sue Sanford, wanted to sue the white man in court. And the white man said, what the hell is this horse suing me for when he's not even in the Constitution? I'm using that so you can understand what the case was about. You dig it? Because that's basically what they were saying. He's not a human being. How in the hell are you going to have him in a court with me talking about he's suing me when he's not on my level? That's what this was saying. Now let's read it. Hold it. Show it on the board. December term, 1856, Dred Scott versus John F.A. Sanford. Plaintiff in error. That's what they would say. Like this. What kind of court could it? It's an error. It's erroneous for you to even be here. Plaintiff in error. The plaintiff. Upon writ of error. Look at it. Look at the top of it. Now read point 4.
Point 4. A free Negro of the African race whose ancestors were brought to this country.
Now I'm reading this because I'm going to deal with Northern California. I'm going to deal with all the tribes. That's why I'm saying this. Like I said, don't let me forget while I'm bringing this up. A free Negro of the African race whose ancestors were brought to this country and sold as slaves is not a citizen. Within the meaning of the Constitution of the United States. Roll up. Trump knows this. All the American politicians, what the hell you mean you got to have civil rights and a voting rights when you're supposed to be a citizen? Move it up. When the Constitution, I'm reading it. When the Constitution, on part 5, when the Constitution was adopted, what was that? 1776? Yes. When it was adopted, right. Well, so when it was adopted, 1776, they, meaning the so-called Negroes, and they said a free Negro. Just letting you know that he ain't free. They're telling you he's free, but he ain't free. He said when the Constitution was adopted, they were not regarded in any of the states as members of the community which constituted the state. And they were not numbered among its people, wait a minute, and they were not numbered among its white citizens, among its Joe Biden and my son and your grandmama. That's the way he was talking in the Senate. These predators, that's what he's saying. He said they were not numbered among its people or citizens. Consequently, meaning because of that, the special rights and immunities that's guaranteed to the quote-unquote real citizens do not apply to you Negroes. It's here. This hurts. I know it hurts. I get it. He said he was in error. So he had to explain this in court. He said, and not being citizens within the meaning of the Constitution. The Constitution. They are not entitled to sue in that character in a court of the United States, and the circuit court has not jurisdiction in such a suit. Here's the part now. Look at 6. Read. Come on. Lift it. Right there. The only two clauses in the Constitution which points to this race, meaning us. Where's it at? 6. Treat them as persons whom it was morally lawful to deal in as articles of property and to hold as slaves. What does that mean? That means when they're sitting with you, they're not looking at you like you're a citizen. They have, this backs up their mentality. This backs up, they say, I'm not only coming from what my father taught me about you, what my mother taught me about you, but the paperwork backs up my prejudice. The only two clauses in the Constitution which points to this race, treat them as persons whom it is morally lawful. Look at those words. It is morally lawful, meaning you don't have to feel upset about treating us like we're articles of property. You got to look at these words. He said it is morally lawful to deal with us like we're property. It's morally lawful for them to do that. Articles of property and to hold as slaves.
So it's saying the only time you read about black folk in the Constitution is 1 property or 2 slaves.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the reason why the 13th Amendment is written the way it's written. There's a setup from the beginning. You deprive us of all kinds of opportunities to do for ourselves. We end up like Biden says. He said, we don't care if they didn't have this. We don't care if they didn't have that. When they mess up, put them in jail and use them as slaves. The 13th Amendment. Involuntary servitude is slavery. Wake the hell up. You say, well, that's just on paper. But you're living it. I remember the white man read this on the street. Bishop knows about this. Rocky Stone came up and read it, the white man. He read it. And the brother that was speaking, he said, they ain't listening. He turned to the white man that was reading it. He said, they not listening to you. The white man looked at it and said, well, if they ain't listening, they're living it, baby. That's what he said. He said, if y'all ain't listening, y'all are living it. Read.
The only 2 clauses in the Constitution which point to this race treat them as persons whom it was morally lawful to deal in.
Trump didn't write this. That's the point, the Trump effect. Don't just look at him. This has been in the damn thing. Come on.
Deal in as articles of property and to hold as slaves.
Read.
Since the adoption of the Constitution of the United States, no state can by any subsequent law make a foreigner or any other description of persons citizens of the United States.
That's Ephraim, that's Manasseh, that's all the tribes. I told you yours in there. Let's read that again.
Since the adoption of the Constitution of the United States, no state...
What was the adoption? 1776. Since then, it said no state can by any subsequent law, meaning any law that came after that, can make a foreigner or any other description of persons a citizen of the United States. So they can decide to give that citizenship to the Ukrainians. But to you that own this, they came here and took it and said, you're not even a citizen, and the whole house is sitting on your plot, on your land. That's some evil there. That's some sociopathic tendencies. What did it say?
Since the adoption of the Constitution of the United States, No state can by any subsequent law make a foreigner or any other description of persons citizens of the United States, nor entitle them to the rights and privileges secured to citizens by that instrument.
So the rights and immunities and the privileges that are given to regular white folks do not apply to us. Go ahead. You wonder why you talking about, so where's our voting rights? Every so many 20 some odd years you got to go back again? What the hell you mean civil rights? If you're a human being, you don't need no damn civil rights. That's crystal clear, easy to understand. That's letting you know that we are not citizens of this goddamn place. And it is God damned. I'm going to read that. I ain't letting you go without reading that. You're going to need that thing here, because I know a lot of us who say, we're not part of the American dream, and we feel it all bad. No, you need to know that the Lord going to destroy all this and give you your real kingdom.
That's right.
Read. Yeah. Read.
A state, by its laws passed since the adoption of the Constitution, may put a foreigner or any other description of persons upon footing with its own citizens, as to all the rights and privileges enjoyed by them within its dominion and by its laws.
Go ahead.
But that will not make him a citizen of the United States.
That will not make him a citizen of the United States. This was quoted in court, and this devil won by this argument. Go ahead.
Nor entitle him to sue in
Nor
its courts.
entitle him to sue. What the hell is he in here suing me for? The Constitution said this horse can't sue me. That's bad. I'm using that term. They don't use it in there, but I'm using it that way so you can understand what they're saying. Go ahead.
Nor to any of the privileges and immunities of a citizen in another state.
Meaning no matter where you go, you ain't got no right to sue nothing. This is a plaintiff in error. What the hell are we even doing here listening to this mess? That's how they talk. Go ahead. Looking at the judge, what the hell are we entertaining this here for? It's not even a person. I want y'all to feel it, how I'm bringing it up, because that's how it went down. Come on, read.
The change in public opinion.
You know I wanted to get to this part here. Read that again.
The change in public opinion and feeling in relation to the African race, which has taken place since the adoption of the Constitution.
What took place since the adoption of the Constitution? The Civil Rights Bill in 1954. 54. Am I right? Is that the year? Yeah, 54. Is it 54? Yeah, 54. You got 64? No, 65. Yeah, one of them. I remember that. I'm getting it mixed up. It's next to 65. The civil rights right with the Board of Education and all that. Read that again.
The change in public
opinion. Why am I keep thinking 54? Something about 54 keep coming up in my head. Read.
The change in public opinion.
Right. The what was it? The Board of Education Act. That's the one in 54. Okay. Read that again.
The change in public opinion and feeling in relation to the African race, which has taken place since the adoption of the Constitution, cannot change its construction and meaning. And it must
hold it. Stop. The change in public opinion, meaning that if we get the feeling a particular way and try to spread the news, no matter how you social media yourselves into thinking that you're a part of the system, they said that we don't care about none of that. And it says since the adoption. That's the reason why I gave those dates. That was after 1964, 65, and 54 with the Board of Education and all that. These were after that. That did not change. They still have the conspiracy to destroy black boys in your schools. They still have these things happening all over. Go ahead.
And it must be constructed and administered now according to its true meaning.
In other words, civil rights didn't change nothing. Let's give the Negro civil rights. That's what they're saying. Let's give them a little bit. Give them a little bit. Give them some crumbs. It said that it cannot change its construction and meaning, and it must be constructed. That's supposed to be construed. I read this before. Must be constructed and administered now according to its true meaning and intention when it was first formed and adopted. which means it's going to be carried on. That's how they operate. That's how they operate. I know I gave you some bad news. There's some real bad news. So what the hell, he come down here and mess up all our dreams? I thought it. I'm going to get back. Yeah, I'm going to deal with the draconian. Well, look at this here. It says, well, I just saw that there. Slavery never really ended because the 13th Amendment still allows it. Michael Cord. Okay. People think the 13th Amendment repealed slavery. It didn't. It just created slavery in another name. They had a documentary on PBS talking about that exact thing. Convict leasing and things of that sort was dealing with this here. Very crafty. Because America has to have slaves. Y'all understand that? The engine that it took to make this motor run is the same engine that's going to keep it running. You cannot go from diesel to gas with the same engine. If the engine is the same, which it is, it's going to require the same fuel to keep it running. We just have to make you think that you are a different fuel. But we need you. Don't get mad. Don't be all feeling all bad. Just know what this information forges in you for you to unite. Because we do have the Lord on our side. I'm getting ready to go into that. So I've showed enough of this. Now I'm getting ready to turn it around a little bit. I gave you some ugliness. Draconian. So like I said, they gave us the illusion of freedom, the illusion of free speech, the illusion of, like I said, public access, like I said I was going to talk about. Public access television is supposed to be a platform that allows for the little man to be able to bring forth something that's beneficial to the community in the competition, for lack of a better word, of the conglomerates that have the big things, the big stores. He wants, here you got Lipton. I use Lipton as an example. People that make lemonade, Tropicana, stuff like that. But here you come, you got your little wagon and your little soapbox, and you want to sell lemonade. They're supposed to, the article of freedom of speech is supposed to say that you are allowed to do that. You're supposed to be able to set your lemonade stand up and sell your lemonade. You dig what I'm saying? That's what public access was supposed to be. It's supposed to be the airwaves, because it was supposed to be a government-funded program that allowed for people in the community to be able to put forth programs to help those in the community against the oligarchs of the big corporations. It allowed the little man. That's what the soapbox thing was about. It allowed you a platform to be able to stand up and speak while everybody else is speaking, so it gives you a chance to be heard. Y'all all right? That was public access. Notice the word public access to television. That's what it was called. Then you have YouTube. YouTube is supposed to be the television that's applied by you. Gives you the ability to bring forth certain things. Then they said, now you can't do that because it's commercialized. It says private, such and such. Now they got community guidelines and stuff. Where did all of this stuff come from? Why all the paranoia now? You want to know why? Because the word of God is being used on these airwaves. That's what the problem is. And they said, now we got to get control of it. Now here comes community guidelines. Now here comes this one. Now it's hate speech. It's all this other stuff. Meanwhile, all I've been talking about for the last hour or so is about how this country hated us. But when we want to speak in defense of ourselves, they say you are not allowed to do that. And the only reason why you would even talk to us that way is when you actually believe that we are what that article and that thing said. You don't do that to your Ukrainian people. You don't do that to people who you consider your own. I want you to understand that. That's why we ain't never going to get together. Never going to get together. Y'all all right? So, made you think that you had freedoms, made you think you had freedom of speech. They give you the play. And social media, that's another one. Social media. You got big conglomerate media, ABC, CBS, CNN, and such. Those are corporations. But when you use the term social media, social means society. Social means your media. They said, but wait a minute, more people are watching social media and they're not watching NBC. We got to find a way to control that. There's a book called The Requiem of the American Dream. I actually wanted to show that clip. Let me just jump to that for a second. See, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I got scriptures that I didn't even bring out yet, but I'm going to do it. How much time I got? I got about 45 minutes. I got to bring some scriptures out. But give me the video about, let me see. So I had so much here. Nah, I gotta save it. I gotta stay within it. I gotta stay on point. Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna stay on point. What was that? Draconian. So I was talking about the freedoms, right? Put that up there. Draconian. Read that.
Draconian, of laws or their application, excessively harsh and severe.
Now, who knows why I pulled this here? Is there? Let me look for the synonyms, because when you talk about, listen, no, read that. The Nazis, read that. No, read that whole thing. The description is actually in the next line. Read it. Come on, read it.
The Nazis destroyed the independence of the press by a series of draconian laws.
That's what I wanted to get to. Draconian laws. Draconian laws was laws and policies made up to take back the rights of the people. In other words, your free speech. Your public access television is now heavily regulated, but they call it hate speech, community guidelines and all that BS, when it was really being used to offset the allegoric companies that was dominating everything. It gives the little man a chance to say something if he got his stuff together. They would even train you in these things because it was a government program. Okay, YouTube was supposed to be the same thing, even though they try to tell you that it ain't. But hence the name YouTube. Why do they call it YouTube? And it is your television access. Social media is the media of the society, meaning you, against the oligarchs of big media. Draconian laws were community guidelines, for an example. These are things that's used to stifle and pin and restrict your freedoms. That's why I wanted to bring that out, draconian. So why am I bringing all this up? Because that's exactly what's happening now because of this truth that's coming out. They got to find ways to retard this truth to keep it from flowing out because nobody's watching NBC no more. Nobody's watching CBS. They're watching these things here. Too many people watching. They're even messing with the numbers and all of that because they said too many people are listening to them. So is this really about freedom and democracy? Hell no. Hell no. So now. Let me get back to my lesson. I ain't going to jump. Like I said, the draconian paranoia and fear of the Israelites awakening, that's what this is about. And that awakening will bring about the inevitable judgment of this whole system. So that's why they're worried. We got to get a grip on it because these slaves are getting loose. Okay? These slaves are getting loose. I want to make a point to say, I watched Deacon Yahshua's class on the border crisis. And that crisis has a lot to do with the actions that we see taking place in these days right now. You need to go back and watch that. Put my thumbnails up. Don't play this yet. Show the thumbnails. There's 3 classes that I want y'all to see. The Power Hour Plus edition, Crisis Across Borders. Very good information in there. Deacon Yahshua brought it out. And he particularly made the point about the importance of the tribes. Stop this foolishness between northern and southern kingdom. Excellent information. That's what we really have to focus on because the dragon is wroth with Israel now. Okay? Strangers, this crisis across borders. Strangers and illegal aliens invade. Illegal aliens? The white man is a damn alien to the damn planet Earth. He can't even lay in the sun without getting cancer. His skin ain't even from here. The hell you talk about? So let me just lean back. Give me the next thing. Talking about some damn alien. Let me see your papers. Shoot. There's another good class. This was writing on the wall. Now these are very. I love the work that we're doing, and I know that that we get a lot of opposition to keep us from being organized or want to retard our progress. But I love the work that we do, and I believe in it, and I want to see it continue. Trump sends, this is Writing on the Wall with Captain Mattathias. I love that show. I love Deacon Yahshua's show. I love all of the shows, and I make it my point to say that. All of the shows that we do, Four Corners News, Patient Saints Radio, all of these, I love what we're doing. Israelite television, goddammit. Israelite TV. You turn it on, we on there. That's what I want. And we have to go, and we can't go to CBS. We can't go to, but we can go on these platforms until the Most High do other things. But we will use that. So I just make those points to say this. So I told you the Power Hour. You can look it up to find out the times that it comes on because it's posted. Also, Writing on the Wall with Captain Mattathias. Very good program. I make it my business to try to catch all of his episodes, just like the other one, just like Deacon Yahshua's program. Give me the next one. And this right here is Escape the Plantation. I thought the thing was mentioned in there. But the subject that he had on, this was Captain Gedaliah. Escaping the Plantation 2.0. Love that program, too. And the righteous rant and all that stuff that's going on in there. You need that thing. But in these particular programs, especially this one, the ban of TikTok was the subject that I was talking about. Why in the world are they nervous about TikTok? Because people are watching TikTok and not watching NBC. So they'll come up with draconian laws again to shut it down. Because, quote-unquote, the slaves are being awakened, and they might find out that they're Israel. And if they find out that they're Israel, we are in trouble. That's the cake. Y'all all right? So now, with all that being said, like I said, I watched it. What I wrote here. I was making a point that, well, let me just read what I wrote here so that way I can get it out the way. I said, I watched Deacon Yahshua's class on the border crisis. And that crisis, quote unquote, has a lot to do with the actions you see now taking place in the days today. What many of us might not know is that the policies that we see Trump enacting and coming up with is not new. That's the point that I was making all class. It's not new. The point that is to be made here is how it is that our people, or sheeple, I'd hated to use that word, but we're like sheeple, can't seem to decipher where all of this is coming from. They think it's coming from Trump. This has been the floor of America since it came up, okay? And it ain't Trump. That's my point. He's not the boogeyman outside of the rest of the boogeymen, okay? Okay. And I said, but what they do is that they cause you to look at Trump, or they cause you to look at this one, that one, and that is to keep you occupied off of where your focus should really be. Keeps you off balance. In other words, what happens to us every 4 to 8 years? We go from Democrat, and then when the Democrats do things wrong, the gas prices, such and such, this and that and the other, now we're looking for Trump. Or we're looking for somebody else, or Reagan, or whatever. Then we go over there, then they get burnt. Then we go back to this. We just like a ping pong ball going backwards and forwards. When do we ever take the time to do something for ourselves? You're too busy chasing, trying to find out which way these people are moving. That's to keep us off balance, and it draws our attention away from us actually coming to the fruition of us being the Israelites. I'm trying to pick up where I was reading that. And it said, and it's a undeniable phenomenon, and the awakening of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what they're afraid of. They don't want, and it's an undeniable phenomenon. They can't get away from it. So watch those classes. So now, give me the book of Daniel. Give me the book. Show the thumbnail. Show the thumbnail that I got there, the Trump effect. Show that again. So you think that the scripture that I'm about to read is about one person? No. It's about what we're about to read. Daniel, we're going to read 2. We're going to do a lot of reading. Chapter 2, I'm going to be kind of quick with it because I want to get to certain points. Again, pointing to the arrogancy of not just Trump, but all of them. Okay, let's read. Daniel 2 and 1.
Daniel chapter 2 and verse 1. And in the 2nd year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him.
And his sleep brake from him. King Nebuchadnezzar, come on.
Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers.
So all of these are people that he had in his cadre, if you will. These are people that he had that he can go to and say, listen, you give me this, you give me that. I need that information. You my advisors, you my astrologers, you my counselors, such and such. Read.
And the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams.
So they was the brain. He said, listen, I had a dream and it break from me, and I need you guys to tell me what it's all about. Read.
So they came and stood before the king. And the king said unto him, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream.
So he was troubled because the things that he saw in his dream. Come on.
Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation.
They're saying, listen, okay, you called us. Just tell us the dream, and we'll tell you what it means. Read.
The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me.
Wait a minute. The thing is gone from me. So now, sweating bullets. Come on.
If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut in pieces.
So wait a minute now. See, he telling him he had a bad dream, but he don't remember what it is. It's up to, now he said, you got to come and tell me what I forgot. And if you don't tell me what I forgot and tell me what it means, you're going to get cut up. Not only can, he said, well, if you just tell us what the dream is, we can interpret it. He said, no, I don't remember what it is, but you better tell me what I forgot. Go ahead, read.
And your houses shall be made a dunghill.
Damn, go ahead, read.
But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and the interpretation thereof.
And show me the dream, and then so not only I need you to tell me everything, what I forgot and everything. Do that, and I'll set you up. So here's the point. Daniel, because I'm going to skip around now. Daniel tells the king about the dream, and he also gives him the interpretation of the dream that he did not even remember. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Daniel was able to go into the spirit of the Lord, and when he had brought this out to him, to the king began to remember elements of the dream, and that confirmed what Daniel had showed him. Understand how that goes. I wrote that in there because I want you to understand what's happening here. You forgot something. If you forgot something, you ain't going to remember it until certain people bring up certain elements. You'll be like, okay, now I remember. I did see that. I did see that. I did. But at the beginning, nobody knew anything. So Daniel was able to go in and regress his mind and pull up the stuff that he had forgotten. Y'all all right? The power of God was working with him. Y'all all right? Just mentioning that thing. Give me verse 36.
Verse 36. This is the dream.
So he's telling them the dream now. Come on.
And we will tell the interpretation whereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory.
So this is what he said. He said, listen, what I saw in the dream is that you was a man of power. Go ahead.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand.
Go ahead.
And hath made thee ruler over them all.
And have made you ruler over them. That's what the Lord is, that's what Daniel is pointing out to this king with this dream that he had. Read. What verse you in?
Verse 38, Bishop.
Read.
Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee.
Thou, hold it. And after that there shall arise another king that's less than you. Go ahead, which was Persia. Read.
And
That's what
another
I was going to say, glad you put it up there. Read it.
And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Come on.
And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron.
So that's Rome. So you had Babylon, then you had Persia, then you had Greece and Rome. That's the four. That's four there. Read on.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise.
So it's that last kingdom is talking about America. It's going to get down into America. Showing you the Trump effect. Again, we're getting ready to talk about it some more. Read.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
We're in this part right here. That's us. That's at the bottom. That's America. Partly, you see on the thing on the screen there, the feet. Yeah, the feet and part iron. This is America and the European Union, 1776 to the present. That's why I was reading that Constitution thing again. So that's where we are. We're here in this part here. So Daniel showed. This king Nebuchadnezzar showed him this whole statue. Okay? What verse you in?
Verse 42, Bishop.
Read.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed.
What verse are you in?
Verse 43 now.
Yes. Go ahead.
They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another.
Do you hear that? The Most High is not going to allow hands across America. He's not going to allow it. That's why it's not going to happen. And the Most High put Trump there. But Trump is no different from the rest of these. The king's heart is in God's hands. I forget, what's the scripture? Proverbs is like 21:1. Read that for him real quick.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
So your elections don't mean nothing. Everybody does what the Most High want to be done. I'm going to jump around. I'm going to show you something. Give me the book of Kings. 1 Kings chapter 22. I'm going to read this for a reason. 1 Kings chapter 22. Okay, yeah, read that 21:1 first. Read that, the one about the king's heart.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
So he turneth the minds of the king to do what he wants to do. That's what we was reading earlier with Romans 9. When he said that who could go against God's will? God made you to be what he made you to be. You're going to do it. How do you think the word of God comes to pass? People are ignorant as hell. How in the world could the Bible be a book of prophecies and people got their own will? How in the world could the Bible talk about this kingdom going to rule and then the next one going to rule and the next one going to rule, and you talking about something, oh, I get to do what I want to do? No. You're going to do what the Most High said. Your mind is in the mind of the Most High, period. You're going to do what he's going to do. Now, 1 Kings 22 and let me see. And I saw Israel scattered on the hill. Give me that one. Let me show you that the Most High deals with it. I skipped part of it. I skipped because I was going to read this later. But I want to read it. I want to bring it out now for a reason.
1 King
20. I've got to find the verse that I want.
Verse 17, Bishop.
Is that where I want to start? Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, read.
1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 17. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd.
So this was about the Most High wanted to persuade King Ahab to go and fall at Ramoth Gilead. That's what this was about. And the point was he needed to deceive, I've got to say it this right. He wanted to deceive him to make him think he was going to win the war. And the Most High was going to have him put to death. My point is that the Most High controls what people do. That's the reason why I'm having this read. Let me find the verse. I want to look at it. I want to look at it. What verse did you start in?
Verse 17, Bishop.
Okay, I got to find it in my 22:17. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes, read.
Verse 17. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills,
Go ahead.
as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace.
Go ahead.
And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil?
Because he want to hear lies. He actually want to hear that he's going to win. But this what's his name? Micaiah? What was it? He kept telling them the truth. And he said, but I want to hear this guy. I want to hear somebody go say something to me that I like. Smooth-third. Go ahead, read.
Verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne.
This is the verse that I wanted. Read that verse again. That's the verse I was looking for. Read it again.
Verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord.
Meaning I'm going to tell you the truth. Go ahead.
I saw the Lord sitting on his throne.
I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. Listen good now. Remember, the king's heart is in the Most High's hands. Trump, the elections, all that, we're reading about that right here. That's what I'm showing you. Read.
And all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand.
And all the host of heaven standing where?
By him on his right hand.
On his right hand, meaning the righteous angels.
And on his left.
The wicked angels. All of that is the Most High's counsel. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you go to the book of Job so you can understand. When you go to the book of Job, the Most High and what said the sons of God, the angels, was having a conversation, and Satan came among them. What's all this kicking Satan out of heaven for? He came among them, and the Lord said, whence cometh that? Where you coming from, Satan? Like, come on, sit down. Have a bite to eat. Talk to me. He said, well, I've been going up and down in the earth, looking for trouble, trying to make people break your commandments and all that. Then the Most High said, okay, well, have you considered my servant Job? He said, but you got a hedge around him. I can't do nothing with him because you got him protected. That's letting you know that the Most High is over everything, including you Israelites, including us. Can't nothing happen to us that the Most High don't let happen. Y'all understand that? There was a beautiful class that Bishop went over last week about death, about eternal death. They ain't no getting rid of us. You understand? Listen to what I'm saying. Even if you kill us in the body now, we die in Christ, we're coming back. Like I said, when I come back to hang your ass. Y'all all right? But when they go off the scene, that's it. They come back into captivity. You dig it? Depending on how long the Most High have that stretch going on. But one of these times they're going to die and they're going to wake up in slavery. That ain't us. Y'all all right? Unless we go off from God's commandments. And that's a horrible, I always said this. There's nothing worse than to go through all this affliction, all this constitution, and all this stuff that we've been reading about, and you end up dying with your enemy. I can't think of nothing worse than that. All the hell, and he literally pissed and doo-dooed all over you. Made you eat it and smell it and rub all in it. Derby dosed. All that. All kind of doses. I know I had to say those disgusting things. But I had to say those things for you to really understand the difference between you and him. How he hates our guts and all of that. And then when it comes time for us to get our salvation, we're going to let our ship leave and we're going to join him and die with him. You crazy. Read.
Verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab?
Wait, and the Lord, who said this?
And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab?
So the Lord is looking at his host of heaven. He's looking at one side of his righteous angels, and he's looking at the other side of the wicked angels that he's in control of. Are y'all listening? Give me Isaiah 45. What is it, 45, 7 or 17? Read that. Listen to this here.
Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. I form the light and create darkness.
I is God. I'm using it in very plain English, going upside your head, church breakdown. God. God. Read it again.
I form the light.
I form the light.
And create darkness.
God says, I form the light, and God creates darkness. Listen.
I make peace.
God says, I create peace.
And create evil.
And I, God, create evil.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
I, the Lord, sanction who does what. So I tell the righteous angels, go bless him. I send the wicked angels to go jack him up because he's disobedient. Jack her up because she's disobedient. Fix him up because he obeyed me. That's what that's talking about. You got something over there? Yes, that's right. Read that one.
49.
Psalm 78. Read that one. That's another one. Psalm 78, 49, I think it is. Read that one.
Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation.
He is God. Wrath and indignations coming from God. Come on.
And trouble.
And trouble.
By sending evil angels among them.
By sending evil angels among those that deserve it. God does that. Now, go back to where we was at in Kings.
1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?
So wait a minute. He said, listen, I need for him to go and fall, but I want to see who's going to do it. Listen to this now. This is a council that's set up. He said, who's going to do it? Read that again.
And the Lord said, who shall persuade
So
Ahab?
the Lord is saying this among the left side and the right side. Of all the angels, who shall do what?
Who shall persuade Ahab?
Who shall persuade Ahab? Go ahead.
That he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead.
So the Lord wants to know who's going to do it. Listen to this.
And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner.
Here you got volunteers. One said, I'll do this. The Lord said, nah, that ain't good enough. What you got? Another one said, well, I'll do that. Read that again so you can understand why I'm saying, read it.
And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?
Come on.
And one said on this manner.
One said, I'll do it this way. Go ahead.
And another said on that manner.
And another one said, well, I'll do this. The Lord said, I don't like neither one of those. That ain't good enough. Read.
And there came forth a spirit.
And then there came forth the evil from the evil side. The evil one came up and said, well, I'll do this. Go ahead.
And stood before the Lord and said,
Hold it. What did this one do?
And stood before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And said, I will persuade him.
He said, I will persuade him. He sounds very convincing. Well, let's see what you got. This is the Lord talking to him. Y'all all right? I'm dramatizing it. Can y'all dig it? Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto him, wherewith?
Well, what you going to do it with? Let me hear. What you going to do?
And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
Damn. He said, that sounds good. That might work. He said, that's better than you two. You heard what he said? He said he going to go down there, and he going to be a lying spirit in his counselors. And he said, go forth and do so and prevail. So my point is saying that, what in the world is Trump going to do? What in the world are these kings going to do when the Most High controls the whole zone? That's the point. That's why I say they cannot get out of this. They can't get, the Most High going to make them fulfill his will. That's the point. You worrying about him doing this and that. No, the Most High going to make him fulfill what's in this Bible. And they know that. That's the reason why they got it, because they know this is where it's at. Y'all all right? All right. Where we at? Go back to Daniel's. Thank you. Let's go back to Daniel's. What verse did we stop at? Read 43 again.
Daniel chapter 2 and verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Go ahead.
But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Now, read verse 44.
And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
So let's read that verse again.
Verse 44. And in the days of these kings.
These kings is the kings that's read in this chapter. What Nebuchadnezzar, put the thing back on the board. That's what it's talking about. In the days of these kings, the image that you had up there. And in the description of these kings, that's fine. And in the description of these kings, at that last one, the Most High was going to set up the Israelites. That's what the paranoia is about. That's what all the draconian laws is about. That's what the TikTok and all that. That's what all that's about. That's what the Trump effect. All that is about. Trump's effect goes throughout all of those kingdoms. But primarily the last kingdom, meaning America, particularly. 1776 all the way up. That's it ain't just talking about Trump. It's talking about all their presidents, all of them. They all fit this, the Trump effect. Go ahead, read.
Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed?
Which shall never be destroyed. That's because after Esau falls, Jacob is going to rule. That's why it's saying it that way. That's the Bible. Go ahead.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
Ain't nobody else going to enjoy the kingdom of heaven but the Israelites. That's Romans the 9th chapter. The glory, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory. Who's that pertain to? Israelites. Go ahead.
But it shall break in pieces.
But this same kingdom, the Most High said that he will use Israel as a threshing instrument. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. The Most High going to use to tear this whole system down when he give us the power. Read on.
And consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
And the kingdom of the Most High shall stand forever. Read on.
For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain.
So he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, he said, listen, I'm showing you the whole deal, and he sees it because Daniel is showing it to him. I'm showing you the dream that you forgot. Read that again. He said, and the dream is what?
Is certain.
And the dream is certain. I have no doubt because the Most High told me what was in your mind. Go ahead.
And the interpretation thereof sure.
And the interpretation of what was in your mind, I know that's what it's about. And the king knows that's what it is. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So why am I bringing all of this out? Here we go. Understanding dark sentences. This is talking about Esau. When we read the scripture about understanding dark sentences, we're gonna let's read that. Give me that verse and chapter. I'm jumping around. Daniel 8, chapter 23. Daniel 8, chapter 23.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full,
the Most High has had enough of them. Had enough of his people going many days without a king, without an image and all that. Just like he says in Hosea. All that's coming up now. Read that again. And in the latter time?
And in the latter time of their kingdom.
Go ahead.
When the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
People look at that part where it says a king of fierce countenance and they boil that down to Trump. BS. The king here is talking about America. The whole damn thing. It ain't just talking about Trump. All of them speak the same language. Read that statement again.
A king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences.
They understand dark sentences, knowing how to manipulate people's minds with their psychological experiments. I was going to bring all that out. I got all that. So I said part one. They were doing experiments on college campuses. You got B.F. Skinner. You got Stanley Milgram. You got the Stanford prison experiment. You got a whole lot of things that was going on to learn how people think, learn what people like, what they don't like. That's how they was able to frame and manipulate people's minds to liking this, to like this candidate, to be against that candidate. The same thing that they're doing with us with this election garbage. The proof is just what I just pointed out. Here everybody's pointing at Trump and thinking that he's the boogeyman when the boogeyman has been all around us. Been here. For the mystery of iniquity is already at work. And you busy looking for one dude. Talking about some omen. Talking about looking for a little white boy with sixes in the back of the head. Damien. What'd he say? What did he say? What the guy said, Mark? He said, don't. What is he said, don't leave me, Mark. Come with me, Mark. Yeah. So now that I read that, right? Go to my book, Josephus. I got a little bit of time. Esau, again, knowing that he's on borrowed time. Alexandria was set up by the Greeks, by quote-unquote Alexander They call him the Great. He's the Greek. I ain't going to call him the Great. Alexander the Greek. He set up Alexandria, and his thing was to go and collect all the books of all the nations and put them in his library so that he could know about everybody. Because in order for you to maximize your little bit of time, you better know everybody's weakness. You better know everybody's strength. That's that pragmatic, that's that sociopathic thinking. Because I have to know it all in order for me to survive to the very last millisecond of my existence. And I can't love nobody. Y'all all right? We don't have that problem. We got the promise of everlasting life if we do right. They don't have that. Y'all all right? Now, show the book. The complete works of Josephus, Flavius Josephus. He was basically a first century historian that lived during the time of right before right around the Maccabean period, during the time of Christ, around that area, and he was recording things that the Romans were doing. Okay, so in this book, and then there's many books where they have the works of this writer that was writing about the events that was going on during that time. Right. So I want to show you something in this book when it comes to the Greeks. Y'all all right? Let's go inside the book. The Antiquity of the Jews is at the top of the page. Is page 244. Zoom in on the highlighted area. Okay. Now, show before we read this, show the image again. Excuse me. The image, no, the statue, the statue in Daniel. Let me just be real quick. Not that one. I want the one with the that one's kind of hard to read. That's a little bit better. This Daniel is what we're about to read here in this book. And it's going to make a point that Alexander saw the priests coming with the Bible. Y'all all right? Let's read it. Zoom in. Come on.
For Alexander, when he saw the multitude at a distance in white garments, while the priests stood clothed with fine linen, and the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing, with his mitre on his head, having the golden plate whereon the name of God was engraved, he approached by himself and adored that name, and first saluted the high priest.
And saluted the high priest. Give me the next highlighted part. Come on, look at this.
And when the book of Daniel
when the what?
The book of Daniel was showed him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians. He supposed that himself was the person intended, and as he was then glad.
Did y'all see that? So he looked at it and he said, wait a minute, go back to the image again. Daniel showed him all of this, and he said, oh, I must be right there at 331. That's me. The pride. He said, that's me. And I know my outcome. I know what my job is. I know what it's all about. I'm getting ready to make it all happen. Y'all all right? That's right. That's the word. Motivation. So with this kind of determination on his head, you ain't stopping that. Talking about something, you black women, talking about something, you're going to love him and all that. He ain't think about your behind at all. Not in that sense. Not in that sense. Go to 2nd Ezra 12. 2nd Ezra 12, read verse 8 to 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 12 and verse 8. Comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision.
Of this fearful vision, because its eagle kept showing up in the prophet. Go ahead.
That thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul.
Go ahead.
For thou hast judged me worthy
For the Lord hath judged Ezra's worthy. Go ahead.
To show me the last times.
To show him the latter times. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision.
This is the interpretation of the vision. Read.
The eagle.
The what?
The eagle.
Stop. Give me the book of Obadiah. They know this. Quick. Obadiah.
The book of Obadiah, verse 4.
No, 1.
Verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Go ahead.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Read.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her.
Oh, give him another mic. Come on, let's get this thing rolling. Read. Come on, let us rise up against her in battle.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
Behold, I made you small because all of the nations know that he's a thief. All that information is coming out in the parts later because all the nations are going to be mad at him. That's the reason why they're going to come over here. All those people, them 30,000 people that they brought over here, a lot of those are going to turn into caterpillars and destroy this whole system. They're going to be like setting up cells and all of that. All that's coming. Read.
Thou art greatly despised.
Thou art greatly despised because they robbed the people. The people have to leave their lands to come over here because America robbed them. Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived Edom. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
What do they call Caucasians? You cannot read this and not know that this is talking about the white man. This is definitely him. Who dwelt in the caves? Who dwelt in the cliffs of the? That's why the Bible is saying that dwelleth. Dwell means to live there. That dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks. Go ahead.
Whose habitation is high.
Who has higher buildings than the white man? Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Who else can make that statement but him? Look at Trump. Who else can talk above him? Nobody. Trump is the indicative of the whole American system. Bring us over here as slaves and still talk crap. Who shall bring me down? Who's going to make me pay? I shall be no widow. I shall see no sorrow. That's how they talk. Read.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
That's the point there. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. On their quarters there, they're trying to change it up, but that's their bird. Let the eagle soar. John Ashcroft used to sing that, the Attorney General. Let the eagle soar like it never saw before. Yeah, he said that. On the mail truck, eagle. When you go to court, on the flags, eagles. That's their thing. That's their bird. That's their thing. And though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, this is what Esdras was seeing. Go back to Esdras. No, read, finish that. Finish that.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Who else is doing space travel? The white man. They tried to put some Negroes in space. I was in school at this time. It was 86, was it? 80, 85, 86. And when the shuttle went up, the Challenger. And and it blew up. We was there. They had it on the television. In class, and boom, it blew up. And it had quote unquote minorities in it. I imagine people be like, well, those are DEIs anyway. I imagine that's because that's what people's minds be at. They be like, why did it have to blow up with them people on it? That's how some people were talking. I'm just saying. That's what they were saying. Come on back to what I was saying.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will
Though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, they doing space travel and all that. There ain't no Negro up there. Go ahead.
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Then at that time will I start to bring you down. That's why we're in this time period now. That's what Revelation, the 17th chapter, is going into. I'm almost done. Go back to Esdras. The eagle, 11, verse 11. 12 and 11.
Second Esdras, chapter 12 and verse 11. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel. That's the image that we were showing you of the thing. But listen what it says after that.
But it was not expounded unto him.
The Most High did not show Daniel the eagle part of the vision. He showed him the ram. He showed him the goat. He showed him the leopard, the lion. He showed him all that, but he never showed him the actual eagle. And the white man tried to throw you off. I've seen one description. They had some clown, some leopard, some little thing at the bottom saying that that's what America is. No, America's the eagle. An alligator. They had an alligator at the bottom. A dinosaur. They could get away with this in Christianity because they don't read. You understand? But the Israelites, we know what this Bible's talking about. Read on.
Therefore now I declare it unto thee.
Therefore now I declare it unto you. Now I'm going to show you that America is this eagle. Read.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Is this crystal clear? This is talking about America, and it's in the Bible. Now you understand the reason why these people are paranoid with fear and worrying about us gaining a real foothold on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of it, because they said the way they teach in that Bible, people are going to listen to them, and we are in trouble. If they find out that we are the wicked that Bible is talking about, we're going to lose their minds. We're not going to have them to control. And the whole objective of us ruling is to manipulate and make them serve us with this little bit of time that we have left. Y'all understand the fight? Y'all understand the war? Okay. Revelation, the 17th chapter. I'm going to stop here after this for this part. Revelation 17, we're going to read 1 to, I'm going to read 1 to 11. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to stop there. 1 to 11. I'm going to go through it kind of quick. Come on.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore.
So this great whore is the same eagle that Ezra was seeing. It's the same thing that was written in Daniel about the latter kingdom, that's understanding dark sentences, is all talking about the same beast. That's the Trump effect. In the days of these kings, it's talking about that whole beast, America. Read.
That sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of
sitteth upon many waters, meaning ruling all over the planet. Read.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Meaning that foreign policy makes them dance and get in bed with America. Foreign policy and embargoes and sanctions, that's what it's talking about. Make them get into bed with America. If you don't dance with us, you ain't selling nothing. Read.
And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
And they have been made drunk with the Americans' philosophies. Christianity and homosexual and all that stuff that they're making the other nations do. Read.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
Meaning wealthy.
Full of names of blasphemy.
Meaning everybody else's wealth.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
That's what we was talking about earlier. The 7 heads, the Greeks, Romans, Spanish, French, Germans, Russians, and the Britons. And out of Britain came America. Read.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
Read.
And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Because she stole it. That's why she's got all those precious stones and all, because she robbed the people's resources around the earth. Read.
Having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and
lesbians and lies and homosexuals lying on the Bible, lying about God's people, putting so-called white people, calling them Jews. All that's an abomination. It's an abomination to call you a Negro. It's an abomination to call you a Hispanic. It's an abomination to call you anything outside of what God named you. Go ahead.
And filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
So mystery meaning nobody knows. People are confused. They say, where's Babylon the Great at? That's why it's saying mystery. Like, where is it? Go ahead. And then it says what? Mother of harlots, the mother of whores. America is the biggest whore that sleeps and whore her ass out to all of the nations. That's why I said the mother of harlots. And it is the abominations of the earth. Lesbians, homosexuals, and all that. That's here. This is lesbian paradise and homosexual heaven. We're in it. Go ahead.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints.
Meaning the Israelites. They murdered Gad. They murdered the Israelites. Go ahead.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus.
Come on.
And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
So John said, I'm wondering with great admiration and look at the terribleness of this beast. Read what verse you're in.
Verse 7 now, Bishop.
Read.
And the angel said unto me.
Listen good. Get ready to break it down. Come on.
Wherefore didst thou marvel?
Why are you marveling, John? Why are you marveling at what I'm showing you? Just like I showed your brother the eagle, now I'm about to show you some things. Don't be tripping out. I'm about to show you. Come on.
I will tell thee the mystery of the woman.
I will tell you the mystery that everybody seems to not know what it's about. Mystery, Babylon the Great. Like, who is it? Where is it? Here go the preachers talking about this is Iraq. No, you're in Babylon the Great now. Read.
And of the beast that carrieth her.
The beast that carrieth her is all the red nations. The Greeks, the French, the Spanish, the Russians, the British, all of them, they all carry America. They support her. Read.
Which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns.
It just told you that. There you go. Read.
The beast that thou sawest.
Now we get ready to break it down. Now you get ready to tell them what it is. He said, look, John, the beast that you saw in your vision.
Was.
It was in your vision.
And is not.
But it is not in your time yet because it's not in existence. It's not physically in existence because America was not in existence. America came up in just a few hundred years ago. Understand how powerful this Bible is. The rest of these kingdoms existed under different names back then, but America physically did not exist. Read that verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was.
It was in your vision, John, because I showed it to you.
And is not.
But it is not in your time yet because it does not exist.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
And when this beast comes, it shall come out of Europe, out of Great Britain, the bottomless pit.
And go into perdition.
And it shall be destroyed. That's where we're at now. So when it comes, it's only going to be here for a little while, and it's going to be destroyed because we're going to wake up, and the Most High going to bring devastation on this system. Do y'all see this? These astrologers and stargazers, they know what we just read is factual, and the interpretation is sure, and it's scaring them to death. All praise to the Most High. Finish.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
Come on.
When they behold the beast that was and is not and
when
yet.
they behold the beast that was in your vision, well, the people can actually go and see it. Well, hold it. Read the verse again. I left out something.
Verse 8, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
And it shall go into destruction, fire and destruction. Come on.
And they that dwell on the earth
the people that dwelt on the earth during the time here
shall
wonder
whose names were not written in the book of life.
America was not written as an actual place back then. It was not written in the Bible because it did not exist physically. Go ahead.
From the foundation of the world.
From the lineup of the nations and all. It didn't fit. No, you couldn't. There was no actual place called America at all. It's not listed in the Bible as America, but there was uninhabited at this point. Come on. Well, actually, Gad was here during this time because this was the time of John on the island. So Israel, the northern kingdom was here even at this time. Read.
When they behold the beast that was.
When the people actually find out what this beast really is, when they behold the beast that was in your vision, John.
And is not.
And it is not in your time yet, John.
And yet is.
But yet it is coming, meaning America. Go ahead.
And here is the mind which hath wisdom.
And here is the mind that studies. Here's the mind that has wisdom. Come on.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains.
The 7 heads are 7 mountains. We just named them. The Greeks, Romans, Spanish, French, Germans, Russians, and Britain. Come on.
On which the woman sitteth.
On which the woman sitteth. The woman is America, Babylon the Great, because that's where it gets its support from. Come on.
And there are 7 kings.
And there are 7 kings.
5 are fallen.
The 5 that fell was all of them except Rome.
And
because that's the one that John was in. John was in Rome. So that was the one that was in existence. Go ahead.
And one is. And the other is not yet come.
And that was Britain. Britain has not yet come. Come on.
And when he cometh.
And when Britain comes.
He must continue a short space.
Because America broke off from Britain and set up America. That's the short space that Britain had. Go ahead.
And the beast that was.
And this same beast that we're talking about, John.
And is not.
But it's not in your vision yet.
Even he is the 8th.
Even that beast is the 8th, which is America.
And is of the 7th.
And it is of the 7th. This is history. It is of the 7th. Did America not come out of Britain? Yes. Go ahead.
And goeth into perdition.
And it shall be destroyed by fire. That's the time period that we're in now. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to stop there, brothers and sisters. Most High Christ bless you all. Stay tuned for Bishop Nathaniel. Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters.
Hold up.
What do we got?
Bishop, don't forget, donate.
Yes.
All right? Put your money where your mouth is and support this truth, y'all. Israel, you know what time it is, y'all. So don't forget to sign up to the Booster Club and support the troops.
Yes, sir. We're going to continue with this topic later. So all praise to the Most High. Shalom, Israel.
Read that real quick.
Don't get my bishop started. Woo! Woo! Don't get my bishop started. Woo! Woo! Don't get get my, don't get